From BVTV studios on the campus of Buena Vista University in Storm Lake, Iowa, this is BVTV News. Hello and welcome to another edition of BVTV News. I'm Guy Tannenbaum. Our top story today, Buena Vista University President Josh Merchant announced comprehensive tuition, room, and board increases for the 2019-2020 academic year. Merchant said the university is planning to allocate funds for residence hall improvements with the goal of improving students' overall residential life experience. Next year, students will see a 3.5% increase in their tuition, room, and board payments, bringing the total amount paid for both semesters to $45,066, an increase of $1,524 from 2018-2019. BVU held Diversity and Inclusion Week 2018 from Sunday, November 4th to Saturday, November 10th. Several events over a variety of topics, including social justice, advocacy, and cultural humility, were put on by the university in an effort to further develop cultural awareness and understanding. Evening events included a performance by guest comedian Jake Rush, motivational speakers Monty Washington and Julia Garcia, and an Iowa State student panel on disability. We move now to an issue that has surged to the forefront of national conversation: mental health. According to the Des Moines Register and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Iowa's suicide rate has increased faster than most states over the last 2 decades, seeing a 36.2% increase between 1999 and 2016. Our reporter Stacy Rosner has more.
Suicide is a difficult subject to talk about, but there are a number of people here at BVU who want to change that stigma. I went to a suicide prevention presentation held on campus to learn more about this topic.
November 15th in the Science Center 126, the social work program hosted Dr. Willa Stevens. 2 social work majors shared their thoughts on the presentation.
I thought it was very educational. It's a hard topic for individuals to talk about, especially here on campus. So it's good to have like a guest speaker come in and just talk about it and educate us of like how to talk to people who may be thinking about suicide.
I also think it's really important to raise this awareness because it is a taboo subject to talk about, but also it's really important to talk about it so then people are comfortable with talking about it and continuing to learn about what to do and to help people out when they're in a low spot in their life.
A presentation on suicide prevention informs students, faculty, and staff on the warning signs, risk, and protective factors of suicide. The theme of the presentation was to make it something that people felt free to talk about. We talked to Nate Otten, the campus counselor, about his thoughts as well.
That it's not something that we need to never talk about. It becomes a lot easier to talk about it when we are open to discussion. For those students that are feeling uncomfortable, maybe they don't want to talk to a friend or they have trouble talking to a professor, there are 3 people that are completely confidential on campus, and that is myself as the counselor, Ken as the chaplain, and Tammy in health services.
There are 3 things that you can do if someone is feeling suicidal: question, persuade, and refer, or QPR. Questioning can start by asking someone an indirect question, like how they've been doing. Then it's best to follow that with a direct question about the situation at hand. Next, try to persuade the other person to talk to someone, and don't panic. Remember how much you care about that person, and take a breath. The last thing you can and should do is refer. Make sure that that person gets the help that they need. Calmly ask if they would like to go to a counselor or talk about anything they need to talk about. Above all else, the most important part is to make sure that they will be okay.
Thanks for that report, Stacy. That's awesome. Now, what was your biggest personal takeaway from attending these suicide prevention presentations?
I think my biggest takeaway was trying to make sure that we build a culture here on campus so that suicide isn't a stigma anymore, and make sure that we save every person we can, because suicide is a preventable death.
Absolutely. So we also heard campus counselor Nate Otten at the end of your package list some resources for students here on campus if they're having a hard time. Are there any resources locally here in Storm Lake, in the community or nationwide, that people who are struggling can reach out to?
Yes. Storm Lake doesn't have a dedicated suicide prevention hotline. However, people can still call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255 or visit plainsareamentalhealth.org online for mental health screening tools. The Buena Vista Regional Medical Center is also available for those struggling with mental health.
Thanks, Stacy. Thanks again. Next, headlines from BVU's student newspaper, the Tack Online. Members of BVU Student Move, or Mobilizing Outreach and Volunteer Efforts and Education for Service Scholars, attended the Iowa Campus Compact Conference for Midwest Schools at Drake University in Des Moines. The primary goal of the conference is to advance the public purpose of these schools by deepening their abilities to improve community life, as well as educating students on civic and social responsibility. BVU students learned the meaning of civic engagement, shaped their own ideas of service, and engaged with others to develop goals, and even got to lead a presentation on how to merge service passions with career paths. On October 21st and 22nd, BVU Society for Collegiate Journalists members received national awards for their work at the SCJ Biennium Conference and the College Media Association Conference. Represented by BVU SCJ President Andrew Banstra, Vice President Tyler Bruner, and Digital Media Professor Dr. Andrea Franz, current digital media students and recent alumni were recognized in a variety of categories, including film animation, audio documentary and audio slideshow, and television sports broadcast. For more from the Tack, including arts and life pieces, multimedia, and the full articles of tonight's featured headlines written by Ella Wiebush and Fernando Silva, head to their website, bvtac.com. The fall sports season has finally concluded, which means winter sports are underway. Our sports reporter Tanner Frost is once again in studio standing by with coverage of Beaver Athletics.
With 3 new head coaches, new standards are being set for 3 programs here at BVU. The Buena Vista football team couldn't grab a win in their last game of the season as the Simpson Storm rolled into Storm Lake to play the hometown Beavers. The Storm set the tone for the game, and their prolific offense turned out to be too much for BVU. The game finished 56-7 in favor of Simpson, and Buena Vista unfortunately had to say goodbye to 9 key senior members. Ending the year at 1-9 overall, the BV fans offered a senior day thank you to Charlie Flickinger, Cole Miller, Colton Preston, Quamari Harris, Wes Brennan, Sean Jolson, Colin DeMarais, Matt Yingve, and Marquis Edwards, who all served the program well in their 4 years. The Beavers landed 4 members on the all-conference team as well. Eric Pacheco and Gary Weaver earned first-team accolades, while Cole Miller was a second-team choice. Reed Cruz also earned an honorable mention spot. After 2 big exhibition games against Drake and Nebraska Omaha, the Buena Vista men's basketball team began their season Thursday, November 15th against Bethany Lutheran, marking new head coach Todd Lawrenson's first official game in the role. The Beavers led the Vikings for 35 minutes of the game as their dominating 3-point attack paved the way to a victory. Buena Vista won their first game of the season in the triple digits, 100-91. Dominic Sesma was on fire with 24 points and 7 3-pointers made, while Tim Jeffries contributed another 21 points. The men's team then just came up short against number 12 ranked Wisconsin Stevens Point on Saturday, November 17th, losing 87-72. The women's basketball squad, led by new head coach Dana Christian, has started strong, winning 2 of their first 3 games. In their season opener against Iowa Wesleyan, the Beavers dominated on defense and came away with a win, 63-46. Morgan Mulbauer and Holly Schneider led the team in scoring with 14 each. Traveling to Wheaton, Illinois for the Beth Baker Classic, the women split a pair of games. They lost in close fashion to Hanover 69-64, but the Beavers bounced right back with a comeback win against McAllister 57-56. Destiny Einerwold was named to the all-tournament team as well for her efforts. Finally, the Beaver wrestling team, led by new head coach Mark Rial, won their first dual meet this year against St. John's in Minnesota. The team defeated the Johnnies in dominating fashion, 31-13. The team has also had 2 tournaments now this season, with a pair of silver place medals to back them up. Shane Vaughn and Dylan Huntoon both finished as runner-ups in the Dakota Wesleyan Open, and Parker Pearl claimed fourth place at the Augie Brew Adidas Open. That's all for Beaver Athletics this week. Have a great Thanksgiving, Beaver fans. Back to you, Guy.
Thanks, Tanner. For all of us here at BVTV Studios, we're thankful for you, our viewers. We wish everyone a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving break. See you next time.